Hello and welcome to your first tutorial in Visual Basic. Now, this isn't so much of a tutorial as it is an introduction, so I won't really be going into any programming until the next video. So if you already know how to start Visual Studio and whatnot, you can just skip this. And the other half of this video will be me pretty much explaining what this video series is about and pretty much introducing myself as well. But anyways, on my website, programminghelp.org, you'll see that there's an Express edition that you can download in case you don't have your own compiler. I have the full version of Microsoft Visual Studio 2010, so that's what I will be using. I have not seen the Express edition. I know I link you guys to it, but I've never opened. I don't know what the Express edition is like. I'm gonna assume it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, it is Microsoft's and it is Visual Basic or Visual C++ or Visual whatever it is. But yeah, I'm just going to open this. It's a shortcut to the file, and we can see the Explorer. And it's going to take a while. So as you can see here, this is just the welcome page, just a bunch of advertisements from Microsoft. I don't know if this is what you see, or if you're taking a college course and they gave you Visual Studio via an MSDN Alliance program, then maybe you could see it that way. You'll have this. But anyways, in order to create a new project, and I'll explain these little things in a moment, but just click new. I want this to go away. Click a new project here, and for this video series, we're going to be using Windows Form applications. If you are in a college course or something that's requiring you to start with console applications, you can still learn the core programming concepts such as if statements, loops, classes, and everything from these tutorials as well. I'm just going to take it a step further. My C++ series, for an example, will be consoles, not Windows Forms, but I just want to do a Windows Form because this Visual Basic and both C#, I will be aligning these two tutorials almost perfectly to be teaching the very same things just between the two languages. So basically the only difference is the syntax. So if you want to learn C# or if you already know C# and you're now watching this video series, the two series should be pretty much interchangeable, pretty much the same thing. So if you're watching this and you want to learn C#, just so you know, I'll be repeating a lot of stuff. It's pretty much the same stuff. Yeah. But anyways, well, down here you can just give it a name. I'll just call it, I don't know, example A, and click OK. And it will load everything for you. And as you can see here, this is the form. This is what your application will look like when you compile it. So if you just click it, as you can see, all these different properties popped up. All these properties have to do with the form itself, not with any buttons or text boxes that we will eventually put on there. When we do put them on there, you'll be able to click them and you'll see the properties for them. So as you can see, it would take me forever to go through all of these, but basically you can change the name of the form. This is how the Visual Basic will read the form, so you can change it from here, and that's how you would refer to it, but it won't change what's up here. In order to change what's up there, you have to go down to actual text, so you can change that. So you have to change it and then you have to click, change it, then hit enter, and then the changes will be applied, as you can see. So as you do things like this, there's actual programming going on behind the scenes in Visual Studio that's doing these changes for you. So it's really, really nice. And then that's another reason why Visual Basic and C# are very good languages to learn first, just to have a grasp on programming concepts before you move on to like Java or C++. But as you can see, like if you were to grab this, here it is, here's the size, the default size, 300 by 300. If you watch those numbers as I just click and drag this, oh there you go, see now it changed. Just everything pretty much changes automatically, so it's really, really nice. And that's pretty much all I want to show you with the properties. You can just look through these yourselves, color, fonts, all these different things you can change. Here, this was blank before I opened this project. Form1.vb is pretty much your source file for this, so that's why it ends with .vb. If you're doing a C++, it would be CPP there, and so on and so forth with whatever language you might have open. So as you can see, the properties window changed to this guy. So if you want to go back to this, just click this, and you'll go back to saying the properties for the form. So this is the designer form1.vb. If you want to see the code, you can click this right here, view code, and then you'll see the code. So this is pretty much an empty class, and all of our information will go in between these. As you can see, it has the name form1 right there, and that coincides with this form1 right here, not the form1 we saw below, as proof because we changed it. So this is how the program sees it. So you can click view code or view designer to go back between the two. When you do that, the tabs are open, so you can just go between them manually like this, or you can click those buttons. This is your refresh. You don't really have to worry about that. So I'm not going to actually show you anything like that, but you can also do things when you create buttons in text boxes and whatnot. You can actually double click them, or you can double click the form itself, and then what happens is we get this little subroutine that is automatically created for us. Whoops, I don't want those highlighted. And basically, as you can see here, this is kind of like a little event that's created here, and it's a subroutine. So all the code that goes in between here will occur as soon as form1 loads. So basically, oh, I don't know what I'm doing there. There we go. So as soon as the form loads, as you can see by the name, and you can change the name if you want, but let's not do so. You can type in all your code here, and that will execute as soon as you run the program. Well, how do you run the program? Well, we'll first figure out how to save first. So when you save, always click to save all. It will save all the project, the solutions, all the forms, the code, everything at once, so you don't have to worry about only certain things updating and others not. So this is just example A. It'll be saved to your My Documents / Visual Studio, whatever version you're using, / projects. So I'll click save, and then it is created. So then after that, go to build. You can just build it, and after you build it, you've actually created the file, but I'll show that to you in a moment. Before you do that, just try the debug. So what that is debugging in this is basically it just tests running your code. So it's going to go through your code, and then at the end, if you don't have any errors, then it will run, and you can see just a little demo of it. So you can click F5, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll just press F5, and then here it is. No errors, of course, because there's, well, no code. And it just runs, so this is what it looks like. And then you can close it. If there are errors, errors here is basically just something that's wrong with your code and it can't continue, or maybe it crashed. It'll give you a description of it, which is why I love compilers. They pretty much tell you where is it, and it'll tell you what file. So in case you have multiple forms open or multiple pieces of code open, it'll tell you what name and what line. So we need to see what line it's on, right? Because we don't have any lines here. So in order to do that, tools, options, and go to text editor. Then for all languages, click line numbers. Click OK, and now we have the line numbers there, and it'll tell you what line number in case you have any errors. Warnings, your code will still be able to go with warnings, assuming there's no errors. And basically that's just the compiler, the IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment, is just saying, whoa, maybe there's a variable that's not being used, and we'll learn what variables are in just a couple of videos, maybe the very next one. But hey, maybe it's not being used. Well, if it's not being used, get rid of it, or make sure it's used, or just something like that. You'll have warnings like maybe the syntax might be a little messed up, but it won't affect the programming. Just something like that, and it'll tell you what line number as well. But it won't stop it from running if it's just warnings. Okay, so what else do I want to say? Geez. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you where it is. So basically, you just go to your documents, go to Visual Studio 2010, go to projects. What I name this? Example A. And these are the solutions. You don't want to click these. You want to open them from inside your IDE instead of here. Just for a safety precaution, you don't have to. And then you can go to, whoops, wrong one, bin, and then go to either one of these. You should see it there. Oh, I guess not there. Go to debug, and then there it is. That's the application. You don't need any of these other files. I could copy this and put this on my desktop. It'll work. You just double click it, and here it is. So, yeah, there it is. So it's really, really, really nice. Did I show you how to build? Well, I guess not. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. So it's really, really nice. So that's about all I really want to show you. Just show you the properties. You can see your files there and the warnings. You can just look through all these yourself. These aren't. I'll probably go through some of these as I go through this series, but it would take me like a million videos to explain all those different properties and all these different features, when you probably don't need me to anyways. You could probably just go, oh, that's obvious. But yeah, so allow me to explain this video series. So my name's Adam, and I'm really happy that you're here to watch this and to learn a programming language. VisualBasic.net and C#.net are actually very similar languages, especially when you're working inside Microsoft Visual Studio. The way it works, the way they function is just so similar. So I'm going to be creating these two series pretty much at the same time. In fact, I won't be uploading any of the videos until my level 1, which I'll explain in a moment, is done. So if you're watching this, that means I already have the level 1 for both done. But anyways, so basically I'm creating this video series for lots of different languages because sometimes, so this is going to be a bit of a rant. If you just want to go on to the next video, you can go. But basically, oh my goodness, sometimes you have no resources out there to really help you with things. I really encourage you, if you're watching this, whether you're in a college course or not, to have a textbook with you, because as I pretty much admitted, I won't be able to show you everything. So it's good to have a textbook with you and maybe even read through some of the information as I'm explaining whatever I'm teaching in an episode, so you can see, oh, well, here's some certain properties or certain methods that Adam didn't show, but you'll see it there because I won't be able to go through everything. There's like a billion different things. But anyways, for both Visual Basic and C#, this video series is an introductory course. So basically the things I'll be going over is the fundamentals of creating an application, like pretty much what I just did, which is pretty much nothing. How to create variables, operators, how to perform calculations, making decisions with if statements and whatnot, working with strings and constants, lists, loops, validation, the difference between procedures and functions, how to create multiple forms instead of just this one form, how to make it so others pop up, modules, how to create little menus, like maybe an about up here or a file, like these are menus up here. Files, I won't go over printing because that's a default, structures, and classes and collections. On top of that, we have all these different things here, these different resources, which I'll be going through later in the next video source, so you won't have to worry about this yet. But there we go. But just the basic fundamentals of programming. This is core programming, and when it comes to both C# and Visual Basic, I won't until I learn this myself, because I am a college student. I'm just learning everything, and as I pretty much master the material, I'll be presenting it to you. Of course, I wouldn't really consider myself a master. I'm just a student. I'm not, 40 years of experience. But basically, I want to be able to help people that might not be able to have the money to afford to go to college. That's another thing. Maybe you don't have the money. That is a big hardship. I know a lot of people that are in that pickle, and they would like to learn things, and it's really not fair for universities to shut everybody out of this education, especially when computer science and any other kind of engineering is number one when it comes to finding a job and getting a lot of money. So I would like to help, pretty much do this and be able to help you. So about a year from now, I'll probably do Visual Basic and C#.net level 2, in which I'll be doing things like lists and stacks and queues and data structures. I'll be doing data structures for Java and C++ long before I do them for these two languages. But yeah, I'll be doing that. And eventually I'll be doing like ASP.NET for web development and networking and even more advanced stuff even beyond that. So please bear with me. It'll be a couple years before maybe not even 2 years, maybe like a year and a half before I go that far. Shouldn't be too long. And then I'll have all professional, corporate level kind of programming practices on here. But for now, it's just simple college level stuff that's not complicated. But eventually I will get those stuff for you. And that's all I pretty much want to explain for this video series. And I hope you continue with me to the next video and we can start programming.